Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
There we go. Yes,
And
that is very true.
it sounds about right. I mean,
Yes.
so the first step is like, as you said, you yourself did the vetting on your own, which is really good.
Yes.
How did you go about kind of researching XploreAsia itself? Because you had a friend, or you had a friend of a friend in Vietnam, but how did
Yes.
you confirm that we were real?
How did I confirm that XploreAsia was real? No, that's
Yeah.
an interesting.
Compared to
see
other
now.
companies that you might have looked at.
Actually, the main reason why I chose XploreAsia, right? Number one is because I had a friend who I studied with I did my honors with at the University of Pretoria, right? And he was the one who told me about this teaching in Asia thing, right? He was like, no, I would like to go and do I want to go and teach in Vietnam, but first I'm going to go to South Korea. And me being a South African who is untraveled, and to be honest, I knew nothing about anything. The first country I came to was Vietnam, right? That was the first time I've left home. I've been to Mozambique, but I don't think that counts because you can actually walk across.
Yeah, there's a border.
Right. So you just cross the border, right?
So it was your
the
first time to
Exactly.
explore traveling abroad?
Yes, it was the first time. So I made the jump to Vietnam, of course. But before that, so this friend of mine who I was studying with told me that he wants to go and try out this teaching thing in Asia. Then I was like, wait, using my existing knowledge at that time, I was like, when I heard Vietnam, in my head, I just thought bomb and war, right? That was my initial thought. At that time, that was my initial thought. Like, I'm not like this is a true story, right? That's what I thought. And a lot of people that I was working with in the corporate space where I was in at the time, of course, untraveled as well, but still friends of mine, were kind of a bit shocked as well, because when they heard that I was looking into Vietnam and stuff, they were like, what are you doing?
Like, yeah.
Isn't there war there? Like, it's like, because they hear Vietnam, it's like to them, like type of like the war in Congo, that type of thing.
Yes.
So it's unfortunately, these are the things.
Yeah, it's
that
how most of us kind of associate.
Untraveled,
we haven't left.
Yeah, untraveled South Africans, or me and my companions, my friends. So, but the one thing that made me stop thinking like that and actually look into Vietnam was the fact that I knew this guy I was talking to. He was someone I studied with. He was a friend of mine. So he's not crazy. I know he's not crazy. He's one of whenever I ask him about things, he's a very logical thinker, right? So I looked into Vietnam, and he actually gave me once I told him that, hey, listen, I'm interested because I remembered that I wanted to try this teaching in Asia thing while I was doing my master's the year before. And then he was like, okay, if you're interested, you need to have the company.
That obviously covers getting a job and your placement. Do you think it's worth the cost? Because a lot of people try on their own and they fail, or they try on their own and they get scammed, they try on their own and the job falls through the day before their flight. So do you think that the cost that you did pay, did you see it as an investment, or would you recommend people go our route or just try by themselves and see what happens?
That's actually that's a that's a question I get very often, even here in Vietnam, from people who did the whole thing themselves.
Yeah.
Actually, even some people in China. And my answer to that is how you go about going to teach abroad, going to teach in China, going to teach in Vietnam, Korea, whichever country you want to go and teach ESL in, or math, or whatever the case is. I think how you go about it is very much dependent on your experience traveling that region of the world.
That's true.
And I say that because with me, going with XploreAsia was for me the only route that I was comfortable with, purely because I had no travel experience. Right, I had no travel experience in Asia, and I was dealing with at the time countries where the spoken language is not one that I know.
Yes.
Right,
That's
and so I needed to get past those barriers, to get past those mental barriers. I needed to deal with a company that knew what they were doing. Right. And all I would worry about, my biggest worry was just making sure that financially planning, I had the right capital allocation. And when I say the right, so when I came here, because I'm a cautious person, I think it's a typical South African thing to be cautious when it comes to things like that. For me, it was very important for me to have at least, let's say, 40% more than what was required by XploreAsia. Of course, now I know that what is actually recommended by XploreAsia
is already more than
what is required, right? But of course, I can't punish myself now for that, because I know that at the time, that was the safest route for me mentally and given my experience. So people, I don't want to, because you don't want to make anything sound, too scary, because this, to be honest, is a beautiful experience.
Yes.
For like, honestly speaking, when I first came here, I thought I was going to do this teaching thing maybe for about a year, maybe less than that, and then go back to SA and continue my career as a data analyst, whether it be studying further or whatever the case is, right? But within less than 2 weeks of being here, I realized I just cannot. It's like a thing where there was like some type of like mental awakening, right? Where you're like, listen.
And then also the cost. And finally, I think that I'll be there alone. The fear of being alone in the beginning. The fear of being alone. But did you make friends quickly? How did XploreAsia facilitate that? How did you become more comfortable?
Let me see. As I was saying earlier, coming here, I left out the fact that coming here with the recruitment company, I was actually comforted by the fact that I knew that there were other people being recruited. So I'm not the only one who this is going to be a new experience to, right? So I knew that within the TEFL course, it's not just, I'm not the only South African being recruited. I made sure of that. Of course, that South African didn't have to be from exactly the same part of the country I was from. But I made sure that, there were a decent amount. And then also also having that also having other people who are from different countries we all don't know each other, we're all going through the same experience, and the group I was in was a fantastic group of people, very open to talk about their experiences and stuff, and how some of them had traveled like 20 to 50 countries already, and which also gave me that feeling of me just asking myself like, dude, what have you been doing with your life? Yeah, very westernized from what I saw in Bangkok. The way people drive according to the road rules and stuff. In Vietnam, road rules are just a suggestion. They are not something you must strictly follow, right? And so the way people drive, like you find like for instance, in one lane, right? One lane, which is supposed to have one car, will have like flipping two cars, right? Now you ask yourself, isn't this lane only supposed to have one car? No, in Vietnam, if another car can fit, then it will be there. So that type of thing. And also like thinking to myself, like, what was another feeling I had? How I think I was like, no, I'll never be able to drive in this country. What was another feeling I had? Oh, another feeling I had was, and in my head I was like, and I thought the taxis in Joburg and in Pretoria were making a noise. Guys, I'm telling you, like that. After, like, the taxi drivers in South Africa, they're okay.
They're okay now compared to Vietnam.
No, they're okay. They're okay. Like that noise is the noise here is on a completely different level. Like, but also the use of a hooter in Vietnam is different from the use of a hooter in South Africa. And when we hoot in South Africa,